Hey, what's up guys, eRiver94 back with another action figure review. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends War Machine. This is the single release, a deluxe release of this figure, so it retails for $29.99 instead of your standard $19.99, but you are getting some extra accessories here to, I guess, kind of make up for it. We'll find out if that's worth it or not, but you see he comes in the packaging that, let's say, the Red Hulk came in, so the same package size for that. I don't know if this is a Target exclusive or not, but they are showing up in Target, so that's where I found mine. So as you can clearly see, there's the front of the package. On the side, we get this really awesome looking artwork here for War Machine, of course. I like this a lot, so nice piece of art. And then on the back side, we get the figure and what he comes with. We get those little booster thrusters that came with the Walgreens exclusive Iron Man 2020. And some other blast effects that I don't think I've seen before. But the read up on the back says, Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes unleashes a torrent of explosive devastation from the air as War Machine. Alright, so I just looked it up, and this is not a Target exclusive. They just happened to get it first. So yes, you can order it at Big Bad Toy Store if you do have a hard time finding this at retail stores. Anyways, this is obviously the War Machine, kind of based off of the comic book, the classic War Machine, or classic look of him, and this reminds me a lot of the Toy Biz Dave Vonner version of the War Machine. So this is kind of like an updated, upgrade version of that figure, much needed after all these years. We're finally getting a more classic looking War Machine, which is very nice. Now I'm only waiting for Silver Centurion. Like, that's kind of long overdue at this point, but a lot of you guys know that I am a huge Iron Man fan, so I'm always big on Iron Man and War Machine. Anything that has to do with Iron Man at all, I'm totally gonna buy it up. So this is how he comes packed in the package. We got the two big guns, or the two big cannons, on his shoulders already attached. We get some effect pieces, which is actually really cool, and then we get an extra head. So before we get into all that, let's take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so here's a closer look at our War Machine, and I like the silver paint on his mask. And I say that, or I emphasize that, because that doesn't really follow through completely on the figure. We get the silver paint on the torso too, but then the arms and the thighs are just a gray, silverish plastic, so it doesn't 100% match, and I wish they painted everything. I love the metallic paint, it looks great, but then I don't know, in the light, in the bright light, the way I'm looking at it now, I can clearly see the difference, and I can tell that this is plastic down here on the thigh, and this looks like metal to me, and that's the way I want it to look, like it's actual metal, because it's an iron suit. So definitely is, or a metal suit, whatever it's made of. Definitely is kind of a bummer that it doesn't match 100%. I can see why they did it, because of the joints and all that. It's not a big deal, it's not a deal breaker either, but definitely would have been nice if we would have had all that painted. So the face mask looks good. It doesn't come off like the Toy Biz one. That would have been a nice homage to the Toy Biz one if they took the mask off, just like that figure. But no, we just get a fully alternate head instead. But overall, I like the sculpt. It looks real good. The chest piece is also silver too. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it's silver. Here's the back. And then down to the legs. So the turrets up here, they're on ball joints. Let's see if I can get that to focus. So that's how you can kind of move these around. And then also the actual, how would you call this? The thing that holds the turret moves. It moves here on this peg, so you can put it to the back or put it all on his shoulder. So once we put the turret there, of course you can have it aiming, or if you want it, you know, pointing up like he's not shooting at anybody, then you can do that too. One thing noting is the bullet holes of the turret, or the barrel. There's no holes there, so you're not able to peg anything in there, although the effects still kind of wrap around it, and I'll show you that later on too. So this cannon here works the same way. It's on that peg, and it's on that ball joint too. So that's how that works, and that's how you're able to move it to the left and right too, and put it in neutral mode when he's not fighting anyone. If we take a look at his forearm here, we get a gun on the forearm, and this one does have peg holes in there. And there's effects that can clip into that too, which we'll get into as well. So let me swap the head real quick, show you the first accessory piece. I want to show it on the figure. And then here it's also good to show that the peg, it's a ball jointed peg. It's not a hinge. So there's that. So here is the unmasked head, the roadie head, and it's clearly not Dave Vonner this time around. Obviously he's not with Hasbro anymore. But I like the face sculpt. I think it looks good. I dig it. I like the haircut too, the flat top. You guys can let me know if you guys dig it too, because I think it looks good. These shoulder pads are soft plastic, so they're pliable. They're not on a hinge though, but they are pliable, so they don't hinder anything. But there's a closer look at that accessory piece. Now let's take a look at everything else. We get a lot of effects. So we get these cannons or these torpedoes or whatever they're called, and for whatever reason they are removable. I don't think it would look nice like that anyways, so I would keep that attached. But maybe you want him to hold it, even though he can't. He only comes with a pair of fists too. There's no other hands, so he can't really hold it either. So really no point in removing these, but maybe it could be used for other display options. But I do like the effect of it being smoky down here. They painted it gray and it's a smoke effect. I like that, and we get that with the thrusting effects, which we did not get that with the Iron Man 2020. That one was straight orange and yellow. This one, they added this smoke effect, and it makes it look so much better, honestly. And of course, we all know this is our regular thrusting effect that we got before. Just stick it in there, and that makes that effect here. So I like that. These are exactly the same ones from the Walgreens. But here, I'm going to show you them one more time. I'm going to pan out a little bit. I was a little too close there. But there they are. I think they look great. We also do get this effect, which is for his arm gun on his forearm, almost like a spraying effect, like he's going from left to right spraying. So there's that, and then we get his turret gun effect right here, and then lastly we get two little ones here for his forearm gun as well, and then we get smoke effects, which is cool. I don't think we've seen this before, so we get smoke effects right here. So as you can see here, this is the way it works. You kind of just put it over it, and I like that because then that makes the smoke cover the cannon and it makes it look so good. So I like that a lot. So there's that one where he shoots that, and then we have the turret gun ones, which goes over the barrel here. Fits very nice, and I guess these come off really easy too since they're ball jointed, so that might be a little bit annoying. But there's that here. So now we have both turrets with something on it, with an effect on it. And then going to the arm, let's put this to the back here. Going to the arm or the forearm, we have his gun here. And we have the little ones, so that pegs in like this. So you can have him shoot it. So I guess we can have him extend his arm out and shoot it like this. So maybe something like that right here. Let's get it focused on the actual gun. So this looks pretty cool. And then if you don't want that, if you want to make it look like he just shot it, so here's the smoke effect. So these are dope. I like it. So he just shot it, and there's the smoke that it leaves behind. And you can of course flip-flop it whichever you want. There are actually different scopes. One's longer than the other. But I really dig this. Lastly, we get the spraying effect or the rapid fire effect. So this one goes over the barrels, which I do like when it covers it, and looks like this. So I think it would have been cooler if it had actual bullets here and you could see it kind of like Mezco does, but nonetheless I'll take it. I think it looks cool either way. So this is what we're getting extra for the 30 bucks. 10 bucks extra gets you these effects. Is it worth it? I don't know, because normally a figure comes with a Build-A-Figure and maybe an effect or two or a hand or whatnot. So definitely take that into account. Kind of balances out, and those are 20 bucks. So I don't know, but these effects are kind of different and new. Maybe they're new scopes, so it costs them a little bit more. So last but not least, we have our feet thrusting effects. And these, if you want it like this, you could just have these here, of course. But to get that effect where he's taken off from the ground, this is how you stand it up or how you use it. And of course you gotta pose him to make it look better, but I just want to show it for the sake of the video how it looks on the ground. So let's move him to the side a little bit And let's take a look at the Iron Man 2020 effects, and you can clearly see the difference here. How much better does this one look? Definitely looks a lot more realistic and better. This one seems like maybe they forgot to paint it, right? And they caught it and they're like, oh, maybe we should paint it gray and it looks better. And it does, sure does. And it fades into the orange, which makes it look a lot more realistic too. Alright, so for his articulation, that head on that ball peg actually works really well. He doesn't look up like a crazy amount, but he does look up somewhat, and that's mainly due to the sculpt back here kind of hindering his movement up. So him being only able to look that much, his flying pose won't be the best, unfortunately. You can still probably pull it off though, but it's not going to extend as much as other figures have for Iron Man. Looking left and right is just fine, and then looking down is of course a lot more than looking up because it's that sculpt's not there hindering it. And we get that head tilt too, which I do love that on figures, and his is pretty heavy for sure. So the range on the head and neck, I'm pretty content with it. The arms will move forward about this far up, and then we can move it down. And of course, as I showed, those are pliable, so you can still extend his arms out about this far right here. And if you really want to, you can rotate the shoulder so that hinge goes up here and get a little bit more movement or range to go up. It just doesn't really look too natural, but you know, just in case you want to, you can do that. We got a bicep swivel at the arm and a double jointed elbow at the arm too. This forearm piece does not rotate. The wrist does rotate and swivel, and we have a hinge on the wrist, and those are both regular hinges. They're not side hinges there. The ab crunch crunches forward, not too heavy or deep. So if we turn it to the side and get his arm up, you can kind of see how much it goes up and down, but it is there. So he crunches forward more so than he crunches back. And then down to the legs, they're not dropped down or anything like that, but they kick forward just fine, and they go back down. They go in and out about that far. We get a thigh swivel, we get a double jointed knee, and then we do get the ankle hinge going forward and back, and then there's the rocker at the foot too. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to compare him next to is of course the Toy Biz version of classic War Machine, and this guy's been in my collection for a bit of a long time, so he's got some dust on him. But here he is. I actually kind of had to dig him out of a box. But he does stand shorter than the new Marvel Legends one. So it's good to get a tall Iron Man and a tall War Machine. They're supposed to be taller than your average person, of course, because there's a person inside. You can see how massive the Gatling gun or turret is on the Toy Biz. I don't know, kind of too big, right? So I like the size of the new one a lot more. This one, I think it did have another turret here, and I don't have it, so a little incomplete. I think I bought this figure loose and it wasn't complete, so I'm sure I'm missing a few things here and there. And here's a look at both of them unmasked side by side there. One last thing I'll say about the Toy Biz versus the new one here is that definitely feel like the new one is superior, a lot better, and I like it more than the Toy Biz version. It's pretty unfair though. It's a big time gap between these two releases, so it's to be expected that in 2020 it should be a better product than the Toy Biz one. But I know there's people out there that still are diehard Toy Biz fans that will probably argue that this Toy Biz one is still better. Personally, in my opinion, I really do like this new one a lot more. Might be one of my favorite War Machines right now. And I'm going to throw in the Toy Biz Silver Centurion in here, just in case. Probably not going to happen, but just in case there's a Hasbro employee or rep or anyone watching this, and just a hint, let's get a Silver Centurion. That'd be great. And I think it's been rumored, but it's not official yet. Alright, so this is the movie version of War Machine. This is the Mark 1 War Machine from Iron Man 2, and this is by far one of my favorite War Machine Legends figure ever put out. I think the Mark 1 suit is the best looking War Machine, and this figure was just done so well by Hasbro. It still holds its own till today. I think this was released literally when the movie released. I don't know when it was, but this is part of the older Legends, so it's not recent at all. And you can see the scale difference there for sure. It's not really as big as it should be, and I'm glad that they did make the new one sizable. And then I'll throw in Mark 2 of the movie version just for the hell of it right there. Here's the 80th anniversary Iron Man love this Iron Man figure so much, and he looks so good next to this War Machine. So two classic suits next to each other definitely goes very well together. These look real good, so definitely got to get both now. So here's a quick look at both Iron Man 80th anniversary and the new War Machine unmasked side by side. And then here's the Walgreens Iron Man 2020. So this one kind of sports the same body mold as it is the same body mold as the Iron Man 80th anniversary. Does have those added pieces on there though, and the new head sculpt. But even so, War Machine kind of stands a little taller. And I think that has to do with the new sculpted pieces, like his shins down to his feet. They're not the same, of course, as the Iron Man's. His thighs are probably the same, and the arms are probably the same. Of course, the torso is a lot bigger and bulkier, and he's just overall just a little bit slightly taller than the Iron Man's. Alright guys, and that's gonna do it for this review of the Marvel Legends Deluxe War Machine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead and leave me a like down below. Comment, let me know your thoughts on the figure. And subscribe if you have not done so already to the channel. As always everyone, have a great day. Bye.